Jono McFarlane here, pastor at Christ Sanctuary in Palmerston North, and just a brief update regarding this Sunday's gathering for March 22nd. It is, of course, as you know, a surreal time for all of us, and there's a bunch of difficult decisions to be made, and as church leaders, we're concerned for loving our church, and also that we might all love our neighbors as ourselves. Last week, the elders announced some changes to our how we gathered for worship on Sunday, including how we greeted at the door, how the Lord's Supper was carried out with limited touching, and we cancelled morning tea as well. Since then, the government of New Zealand has announced a limit of 100 people in indoor gatherings. And so numerous churches have already announced cancellations of their services, or some are moving simply to a live stream only event. It's been rare for us to exceed 100 people over the last few months. We had about 85 last week in gathered worship, but we've also received queries from people whose own home churches have already shut, and they're wondering about gathering with us this Sunday. We want to obey the spirit of the 100-person ruling this week. Our plan for this coming Sunday is to gather in two nearly identical services in our building in Queen Street. And both of them are going to involve a sermon, our next sermon in our Sermon on the Mount series, which is Blessed Are the Meek. One will be at 10 a.m. and the other one will be at 5 p.m. There'll be a modified children's program at 10 a.m. and that information's already been sent out to regular parents. And each service will finish with a brief open meeting in which the elders will make an announcement, and along with that, there'll be an opportunity for some questions. Our encouragement is simple. We would like you to look to attend one or the other, the 10 a.m. or the 5 p.m. And if you are able to make it to the 5 p.m. gathering, could you please prioritize that one? And hopefully, all things considered, we'll be able to limit each gathering to about 50 to 60 people. Our plan is to limit numbers to 90 at the door, but if this plan is followed, we don't expect to have to turn anyone away. However, I would say to you though, if Christ Sanctuary is not your home church, I would, and you're potentially not looking to walk with us as a church family over the next few months, I would say this service is not meant for you. It is ultimately for those who see us as their church home or potentially their church home. And as with last week, if you are sick or have flu symptoms, could you please stay away? Contact Vinay, myself, easily contactable for prayer. In these uncertain times, there there's no real clear idea as to when things will go back to normal. Some people are saying that it'll be a few weeks. Some people are saying it could be as much as 6 months. And I've even heard some say more. From next Sunday, the 29th of March, our intention is to begin live streaming a modified service with a skeleton crew at 10 a.m. every Sunday. And more details on that will be coming next week. And so why I wanted to gather this week, right, to that end, I believe as pastor, this Sunday is really preparation for what is to come. We will take the Lord's Supper in the gatherings this Sunday, and then from next week, for however long that may be, it will be absent. And I hope that absence of the Lord's Supper will help us long to come together as a church family, as we have for years. There is a live stream link on YouTube that's easily accessible. You just search for Christ Sanctuary Live. Each Sunday it'll be live from 10 a.m. And I would simply also say email is going to be a crucial way of communicating formally to our church family. And so if you're not signed up, please send an email through to newschristsanctuary@gmail.com. newschristsanctuary@gmail.com. And looking forward to this last gathering. Kind of sad, to be honest, but it will be good. Grace and peace to you all.